but it is critical to decide what's most important to you. Like today, one of the most important things is I want to put out my newsletter this week again, and I haven't done it. Normally, I do it the week before, but I've been very busy because I did a keynote speech this weekend, and I did that big benefit for my friend last Thursday. So I haven't had time to do the newsletter. So today I will do that newsletter. But I'm also going out to celebrate my dear friend's birthday, my friend who's my accountant who I've known since I was 3. So I'm going to need to be working this out. So the newsletter I was going to release tomorrow may get released Wednesday if it's not done. But that is one of my priorities, is at least get the newsletter in the marks, get started,
Okay, cool.
Do you get it?
Yeah. The mental aspect is pretty important to you as far as not only the music, but in everyday life. Would you tell us a little bit about your book, Conquering Life Stage Fright, in order for us to get, what you mean by that title and how can we apply to our life and performances?
Conquering Life Stage Fright is almost a term just to get people's attention. The subtitle is 3 Steps to Top Performance. So it's more about the steps to top performance. Okay. If you put something in a negative goal, you're going to focus on the negative. So if I focus on conquering life stage fright, I'm focusing on the stage fright. Yeah. Whereas if I focus on the 3 steps to top performance, I'm focusing on the 3 steps to top performance. So I gave you a dramatic title to get your attention. Yeah. The reality is that the 3 steps to top performance are based on 3 concepts. They're called the 3 C's: clarity, capability, and confidence. So relative to even what I've been talking about today, once you get these inspirations of what you can do with your opportunities and what you can create, I want you to get crystal clear on exactly what it is that you want to do. You need to have absolute clarity about your goals. True, unadulterated, crystal clarity. Okay. When you have clarity, then you need to develop your capability in that way, which means you need to clock the hours. Yeah. They say Malcolm Gladwell, one of the great writers, talks about 10,000 hours to mastery. Yeah. Now, you're going to spend 10,000 hours on just a project, but you need to have spent the time to develop a certain amount of mastery and learn as you're going along. Yeah. So you become very capable in the process. And what that leads to naturally is confidence, the 3rd C. So if you have real clarity about what you're doing, you do the work, you will have real confidence as opposed to false confidence. False confidence is very, very dangerous. So that's how you utilize the 3 C's. And the book is available on Amazon. And I suggest everybody read it because I actually have exercises at the end of every chapter and give different perspectives from different people. It's based on interviews with some top performers. So my next book and what I speak on now is another concept, another triad of a concept, because we think in terms of 3s. Our brain works well with 3s. Yeah. And it's about the power of attitude. It's A times B equals C. And I will say that we know we cannot control what happens to us, as evidenced by this global pandemic and all these challenging things going on in our life. But you always have the power to shift, change, or control your attitude about what is happening to you. Now think about that, because that gives you enormous power to understand that you have the power to shift your attitude right now. Yeah. And your attitude, look at your attitude as like your point of view. Because, it's not what you're looking at, it's what you see and perceive. And your attitude has such enormous power because your attitude is how you view yourself. It's how the lens through which you see the world. Mm-hmm. It's also the meaning that you attach to people, places, and circumstances. Yeah. Your attitude is basically based on the stories that you tell yourself. All right? Yeah. We all tell ourselves stories about what we can do, what we can't do. Our stories formulate our belief systems. Well, unfortunately, most of the stories we tell ourselves, we created when we were 4 to 6 years old. Wow. So much of what guides us as adults is based on stories we told ourselves when we were kids. So what is your story? If your story is a comedy, great. If it's a melodrama, so understand the power of the story is based on your attitude, but attitude is just the foundation of this amazing formula that my co-writer, Dr. Jim, created, because your attitude is what drives your behavior. Now, think very carefully about that. So you could shift your attitude and you could actually drive different behavior in your life, and many behaviors. And your behavior is what determines the consequences or outcomes of your life.
Yeah.
So A times B equals C. Attitude times behavior equals consequence. So this is incredibly simple and incredibly powerful, and something that I live by every single day. And I create conscious attitude shifts all the time.
Wow.
Because what we decide to focus on, the story we decide to tell ourselves, the attitude we choose to take is what is going to drive our behavior and produce the consequences. We have so much more power than we believe. The moment you believe that you are the effect of something rather than the cause of what you want, there's a very big difference. Even that is an attitude shift. It's hugely different. Do you want to be the effect of COVID, or do you want to be the cause of what you can do with the opportunities that you can create? These are all attitudes that you can choose and you can shift in a moment's notice. Right now, you could go from, oh, wow, COVID sucks and my life sucks, and man, look at all the problems I'm having, to, now, wait a minute, what are the opportunities that I can find in this? What can I do? See how that's an immediate attitude shift you can have? That's going to drive completely different behavior and consequences you never dreamed imaginable if you tap into the opportunity aspect of you are, and stop telling yourself the crummy stories of negativity that you've been so used to telling yourself. Change your story, change your attitude, change your behavior, change the consequences.
Wow.
Now you can talk.
When is this going to be released? Looking forward.
I have no idea. I have no idea, because we're interviewing a lot of top performers in all industries, from the entertainment industry to experts in the areas of sales, technology, finance, healthcare, insurance, even neuroscience.
Wow.
And I'm combining all of these people's amazing input on the power of attitude and asking them to tell stories and give examples of how they use attitude on a regular basis, how negative attitudes have created problems, how positive attitudes have created incredible opportunities, how they've made conscious attitude shifts. Because I want to know from great people how they employ this very simple concept, if they're willing to accept the interview. And nearly everybody I've asked has said yes. And I've interviewed some pretty darn high-end people. Wow. So, and I know that it works for me, and that's what I speak about. And then I tell stories about Pink and about Billy Idol and about all these great people, and show examples of how they have essentially created attitude shifts to manifest greatness, even in challenging times. When I tell my story, I talk about when Pink almost died in Berlin 10 years ago when she was doing her aerial stunts. But how she handled it is the key. The attitude she chose as a result, that's why you realize how great she is and what an incredible being she is. Because those are the moments, those are the testing moments. In the moments of crisis, like now, those are the moments where we find out what we're made of.
Yeah.
You know, there's a saying, you only find out what you're made of when you're forced to find out what you're made of.
Yeah.
How are you dealing with COVID? How are you dealing with this? Are you crumbling? Are you giving up? Are you depressed? Are you angry? Or are you looking for opportunities in this? And it's okay to have those other feelings too. We need to go through everything. So I'm not saying, hey, be happy and joyful and look for opportunities all the time. I get plenty pissed off. I get plenty worried. It's just that I also know that I'm capable of then shifting that. Attitude is highly contagious. You also have the power to affect and impact the attitudes, behaviors, and consequences of others. And we wear our attitudes. The moment you see somebody, you intuitively, not even consciously, but pre-consciously, you get their attitude, right?
Yeah.
You see somebody like this, or you see someone like this. Our bodies and our perspectives, we tell so much about ourselves that without any explanation. Attitude shifts are so simple. Smile. very simply smiling. It might be fake at first, but after a few moments, it'll turn real. The moment it turns real, there is scientific evidence that shows that if you smile, it activates hundreds of muscles in your face that literally give your body the signal to relax and literally send endorphins to your brain.
Yeah.
Gratitude is another one. Simply going from a lot of people are obsessed with the attitude of scarcity, the fear, the problems, the blocks, the barriers. Whereas if you focus on gratitude, you're focused on all the things for which you're grateful, little appreciations for people, things, past, present, and future. As a matter of fact, anybody who's watching this right now, I want you to think of one person for whom you're grateful and one thing about that person for whom you're grateful. Do it right now. Give yourselves a moment. And then as soon as we are done, I want you to send that person a gratitude text telling them that you're grateful for them. And then I want you to chat with them on video, call them on video chat. And with all your love and your intention, I want you to look them right in the lens and say, I want you to know I really meant that. Because a lot of people are going to get this text. They're going to go, what the hell? What is this? They're going to think that you're kidding them or punking them, as we say in America. But if they know you're serious, you have literally just changed somebody's life. So focusing literally from scarcity to gratitude, every single morning I wake up and think of 3 things and 3 people for which I'm grateful for. And it literally shifts my attitude, because then it literally also creates a physical change in your body when you do that.
Wow.
Even Pink, before every show, we do a prayer circle, and that prayer circle turns into a gratitude rally where the boss starts talking about everything she's grateful, and you can feel the energy of everybody rise. We get emboldened, we get empowered, we get unified, we go on stage, we rock even harder. And I become such a gratitude junkie that when I'm on stage and they're showing a film and I have 2 minutes off, I always think of one person and one thing for which I'm grateful. I feel my physiology change. I can feel the smile come on. I feel my body literally get more empowered, and I rock even harder. Ooh. I do that on stage. People don't even know. I've never even told anybody. I don't tell people that I work with that I do it. But I just do it just to create an attitude shift right then and there, because I want to get even better at what I do, because I know that by shifting your attitude, you are creating a better performance for yourself and for others.
Before leaving you, just one last question. What would be that one piece of advice that you would give to a person that would like to start a career in the music business?
Well, first of all, I always tell drummers, what do we sit on? We sit on a throne, right?
Yeah.
You're sitting on a throne, you are the king. I really believe drummers have more fun than anybody else. You are in a position of honor, you're in a position of power. And so every time you sit on that throne, I want you to own that power that you've got. I want you to own and have gratitude that you have the ability. I mean, how lucky are you that you get to sit down and play drums? There's so many people on this planet that are destitute and can't even eat or barely survive, and you get to play drums. That's another attitude shift. You don't have to, you get to. So every time you practice, look at it like you get to practice. You don't have to practice. It is something for you to be grateful for. It is a blessing. It's not a chore. It's a choice as opposed to a chore. And if you look at it that way and look at it as being of service, everything you do. So when you go out and expose yourself to other people or perform with other people, look at yourself as being of service to them, as opposed to what can I get out of it? Say, what can I give you out of it?
Yeah.
Because if you're the person that is the one who's of service, if you're the person who's a great listener, then you have the much better chance of getting the gig or being in the band or having people want to attract people to you because you are being of service to them. So the more you look at it that way, and the more you look at the joy and have gratitude for what you do, then the whole experience just becomes so much better for you. And again, you're wearing your attitude. You're right on you. The moment you walk in the room, people unconsciously get your attitude.
Thank you so much, Mark.
My pleasure, Leonardo.
I feel pumped. I feel,
Awesome.
an added switch. So thank you so much.
Go get them, brother. And everybody else, if you want to email me, it's mark@markschulman.com. I'm happy to hear from you. It might take me a while, but I do answer all emails.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All the best, man.
Thank you, everybody.
Take
Big
care.
love, everyone. Thanks.
Take care.
Cheers.